Hi there, it's Saturday night and I'm here in Sapporo, Hokkaido, and we're looking at Typhoon Trami here, and it has a 100-mile wide eye and has passed over Okinawa today. And actually, they have been in the eye for a substantial amount of time, several hours by the looks of things. It has 90 knot winds, that's 104 miles per hour, 167 kilometers per hour. And one thing to look at here is the cirrus clouds moving out in both directions, indicating that the storm is getting very nicely ventilated. It's also over warm waters, so it is maintaining intensity and now heading towards Japan. Being that the storm is now over Japanese islands, we can get a look at the radar, which shows us the rainfall in the eye very nicely, and this huge eye, and this island is Okinawa. And then up here, which is getting impacted by the northeastern eye wall now, is Amami. And so they are getting the impact at present from strong winds, category 2 winds, and very heavy rainfall by the looks of things. This is the Joint Typhoon Warning Center track, and the storm, as it moves up towards Japan, is accelerating. And by the 30th at 6Z, and you have to add 9 hours to get Japan time, so this is actually the afternoon, tomorrow afternoon. The storm is approaching mainland Japan, and it is a 30th at 6Z is at 95 knots. So that is a strong category 2 system. And it makes landfall here, and over here is Nagoya, which is a huge city, and the storm is forecast to pass directly over Nagoya. So as to what this storm will actually look like, given that it has this huge eye at present, and then it will be beginning transitioning into a different phase of the storm, as well as interacting with all of the mountains, it's going to be an interesting situation to watch play out. And of course there's Tokyo up here as well, which is on the right side of the storm, as the storm is weakening down to category 1 at 30th at 18Z up here. But it is maintaining, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center are maintaining this storm as a category 2 at landfall, and maintaining as a category 1 almost the entire way across Honshu. So we're looking at a large number of people that are going to be impacted by a moderate to weakening typhoon. This is the global forecasting system model, and you can see Trami tracking up and passing over Japan. Heavy rain, very strong winds for a huge area, pretty much the whole country, and then up into Hokkaido where I am, so looks like we're going to get some heavy rain even here. Now, the next storm is out here, and it is also looking like it will be a typhoon, and going forward it comes up, but it no longer looks like it's going straight into western Japan. The GFS has it going into South Korea and that is impacting western Japan, but more into South Korea, and the European Center model actually has it going into Taiwan. So this storm is quite a ways out. I'm going to look at it in future videos and not focus on it right now, because there's other stuff that I need to get to. And one of those things we need to get to is our subtropical storm in the Mediterranean, and this thing has blown up very impressively since yesterday's video, and you can see it here developing, spinning up in the Mediterranean, then heading into southern Greece over here, and it looks like it's made landfall. The center has made landfall on Greece. So I don't know, I haven't heard any news about this, so I don't really know what has happened, but it looks like heavy rain, strong winds, and potentially floods and things like that. So let's take a little bit more of a look at this. Well, wow, this is a scatterometer image of the estimated wind speeds in this system as it made landfall on Greece. And this is the first I'm seeing of it, but this is really a remarkable system and image that we have here from the polar orbiting satellite, because it shows that the estimates based on the waves are up above 40 knots and even possibly into 50 knots. But it's the structure, the rotation, and everything about it is very impressive, and we're lucky to have this pass. I will wait to hear, and let me know in the comments if you have any news about this system. It looks like a significant event. Looking very quickly at one forecast for the system. Moving forward, it moves over Greece and produces more heavy rain, but notice it basically is falling apart at this point, but continuing to bring heavy rain to regions of Greece. The good news for the people in Turkey is that it is not heading in that direction by the looks of things, according to this model. Moving over to the Eastern Pacific, we've got Hurricane Rosa, which is a Category 1 or 2 hurricane, and it has degraded somewhat, although it looks like it's fired up a little bit more recently. But generally speaking, it's moving towards those cooler waters and should be weakened to a tropical storm or even a depression, as the NHE suggests, moving over Baja Peninsula on Monday evening. So not hugely interested in this storm. Meanwhile, in the Central Pacific, there is a system that is forecast to develop and potentially become a hurricane, and it does take this sharp turn, but it is away from the main Hawaiian Islands, but potentially could impact the smaller Hawaiian Islands. A very large earthquake hit Indonesia today and has caused a lot of damage from a tsunami. I'm not going to cover it much, but you'll see it all over the news. It was a 7.5 magnitude at only a depth of 10 kilometers, which is pretty shallow. And this is a view from the BBC that they've got from a local resident of the tsunami hitting Indonesia, and this is really a terrible calamity. Hundreds have died, and there's not really much more I can say about it. You'll hear it all over the news, but we're going to move on to the atmospheric storms going on. But this is obviously a huge and terrible tragedy that's happened. Alright, let's take a breath and take a look at the broader scale 10-day global forecasting system model forecast, just to get an idea of the general situation. So first of all, we've got Trami going up here, and we've got the second storm coming in either into Taiwan or South Korea. We've got this potential hurricane in the Central Pacific that comes up and misses Hawaii, the main islands, but potentially impacts the lesser Hawaiian Islands, the smaller Hawaiian Islands. And then we've got Rosa in the Eastern Pacific that weakens but still brings some heavy rain into the Baja Peninsula. And we've got a second storm developing there, which I haven't talked about, but that's into the future. And in terms of elsewhere, I don't see anything, so I'm going to call it a night on this and chill out for a bit. So catch you in the next one.